All right, we're going to continue with chapter 2.1. This is day 2 of that section, and we're still looking at transforming data. Well, transforming converts the original observation from the original units of measurements to another scale. Transformations can affect the shape, center, and spread of a distribution. So many times we like to do this. We like to take the original units, maybe we measured in centimeters, and we want to put it into another scale, say inches. So this is a very, very common transformation that we do, but we want to look at how that affects the shape, the center, and the spread of a distribution. So first we're just going to look at adding a constant. We could also look at subtracting, but subtracting is really just adding a negative number. So we're just going to kind of focus in on adding a constant and what happens to a distribution. Okay, so if we add the same number, some number a, to a measure of center, okay, or location, so in other words, some type of mean, median, those are measures of center. These are measures of location, quartiles and percentiles. So we're going to add something. We're going to add a number to every measure of center. So we're going to think about that. If I'm going to say, okay, on the last test, I'm going to add 5 points to the mean. What happens? All right. Well, what it does is it will add that same value to each of these things. Well, that kind of makes sense. If the mean test score last time was 85, and I add 5 points to everybody's score, well, the new mean of the class would be 5 points higher, or 90. And that works for each of these different measures of center or location. What it doesn't do is it does not change the shape of the distribution or any measure of spread, which is the range, IQR, standard deviation. I haven't changed how the data spread out. If I add 5 points to everybody's score on the test, if your buddy was 1 point away from you and you each get 5 points added to you, you're still only going to be 1 point away from each other. So it does not change the shape of the distribution, and it does not change the spread. So here's an example. These are distributions of students guessing errors by defining a new variable as follows. So in other words, they're saying that the error equals your guess minus 13. So this data is not necessarily important. It's just looking at how this data is calculated. So this is the guess down here. So you can see this is the guess. And then if I subtract 13 points from each of those guesses, that's what they're calling the error here for this, whatever this data set happens to deal with. So if you look at this, the center may still be right about here. It just got shifted 13 units down to here. Right. So what we also notice too is that the shape of this distribution has not changed at all. It's still skewed to the right. And if we were to do some measurements of spread too, we can see that that doesn't change. But we could actually look at that here. You can see that this goes from 8 to 40. So it's got a range of 32. This one here looks like it would go down to like negative, let's see, about -5. And this one here is, it looks like it's about at 29. Maybe 28. We have to do some measurement or some estimating there. But again, we can see that range still about 24 values from about -5 or no, say 24, -5 to about 27. That looks like 20, maybe 29. So in other words, that range hasn't changed. That measure of spread hasn't changed either. You notice the data points too here. They're not spread apart any further than what they were up here. Oh, there we get some more exact information there too. So we could have actually calculated that. So the guess does go from 8 to 40. So that gives us, a range of 32. Another one went from -5 to 27, which also gives us a range of 32. So that shows that range did not change. But we can certainly see that our measures of center, the medians, have changed, and the means have changed by a difference of 13. And also those measures of location as well too. Well, transforming converts the original observations from the original measurement to another scale. They can affect the shape, center, and spread of a distribution. And again, now we'll look at when we multiply by a constant. So in other words, let's just say I multiplied every score by 2. I doubled everybody's score. So if you got a 5, now you got a 10. If your buddy had a 6, now they've got a 12. So again, dividing is just simply multiplying by the reciprocal, or by the inverse. So instead of multiplying by 2, division is, if I divide by 2, that's really multiplying by half. So we're just going to look at multiplying. So again, what multiplying do? If I multiply everybody's score by a certain value, so we'll say that's called B, that measure of center and location will also change by B. So in other words, if the mean score in a test was 10 and I multiplied everybody's score by 2, well, it would make sense then that the mean of the class would now be 20. 10 times that, 2. What does happen though is if I multiply by some number B, it will change the measure of spread by the absolute value of whatever that multiplier was. So again, if I let's just say I've got some scores that range from 5 to 10, and I come in and I multiply everything by 2. Everybody's score by 2. Well, that lowest score would now be 10. The highest score would be by 20. Well, this range here was 5. Now that range is 10. So that range changed by whatever I multiplied by. So multiplying affects both measures of center and measures of spread. Whereas adding, as we looked at before, only affects measures of center. It does not affect measures of spread. But with multiplying as well, it does not change the shape of the distribution. Now again, remember, we only talk about shape as being skewed left. So we'd say it's either skewed left, skewed right, or approximately symmetric. Yes, the distribution will look different. It will certainly look more spread out like we had in this one, but it will not change its shape. If it is skewed left, it will remain skewed left. If it's skewed right, it will remain skewed right. If it's approximately symmetric, it will remain approximately symmetric if I multiply every score by the same number. So here's kind of an example of that. So here's some scores for whatever that data happens to be about here. It looks like something about Australian students and the metric system, and doing some guessing and some errors or whatever. So the data is not important for this data, for this demonstration. But what we can see here is that they multiplied by 3.28 from here to here. Okay, so you can sort of see that our center is right here, and now it's a little bit past right here. So what happens is it gets 3.28 times more. We can also see that it spreads out a lot more. In fact, it spreads out by a factor of 3.28. So, but we'd still notice that our distribution are both skewed to the right. So it does not change the shape of the distribution, but it did change the measure of center, and it did change the measure of spread by a factor of that 3.28. So as we see here, here's a measure of center that got changed by 3. If you multiply by 3.28, you got there. In fact, all of these are affected by a factor of 3.28 because, again, multiplying does change both measures of center and measures of spread, but does not change the shape. All right, here's the end of day 1, and these are the things you should be able to do. We should be able to find that percentile of an individual value we talked about in day 1. We'll be able to estimate percentiles using a cumulative relative frequency graph. That's called an ogive again. Standardized scores, z-scores, again we talked about in day 1. And then basically in this last day 2, we talked about the effect of adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing by a constant, and looking at when we add and subtract, that will affect measures of center, but will not affect spread or the shape of the distribution. Multiplying or dividing do affect the center and the spread by whatever we're multiplying by, but it does not change the shape. All right, well, here ends day 2 of section 2.1, and you should be able to, at this point then, do the following problems: 17, 19, 21, 23, and 25 through 30. Good luck, and we'll see you in section 2.2.